Welcome to Fantasia, home of the melodious. My name's Azallea, and today, gonna be bringing you guys an update on my Lunalight deck. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. First off, we are playing 3 copies of Lunalight White Rabbit. Now, White Rabbit allows us to, when she is normal summoned, special summon any other Lunalight monster from our graveyard, except another copy for herself. And she also acts as a giant Trunade, where you can target spell and trap cards that your opponent controls up to the number of other Lunalight cards that you control, includes the pendulum scales, and return them to the hand. So basically, she allows us to clear the field and before we go and commit to bigger plays. She is a prime target for negation, so just keep that in mind. She's really good at baiting things out. Next off, we are playing 3 copies of Lunalight Black Sheep. Now, Black Sheep's basically the main combo piece of the deck, I would say. So you can discard her to add 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand, and you can also discard her to add 1 Lunalight monster from your graveyard to your hand. Doesn't normally happen because you want your polymerizations. They're way more important than fetching another monster in most cases. So if she uses a fusing material, you can add 1 Lunalight monster from your graveyard or your extra deck back to your hand, effectively looping your resources and giving you some card advantage while you're fusion summoning. Next off, we are playing 2 copies of Lunalight Purple Butterfly. I still really like this card. Her 1000 attack boost is very relevant, especially if you're trying to get over some floodgate monsters like Vanity's Fiend or something like that, because she can boost Blue Cat up to 2600, I believe. Yeah. Her graveyard effect's also really good. You can banish her to special summon 1 Lunalight monster from your hand. So yeah, she will get a lot of dead copies of Lunalights that you don't want out from your hand, and she also allows you to special summon Blue Cat, which can help you double the attack of another Lunalight monster that you control. Speaking of Blue Cat, we play 3 copies of Lunalight Blue Cat. She is the floater of the deck, so when she's destroyed by battle or by card effect, she can bring out any other Lunalight from the deck straight to the field. So very useful in that regard. And she's also a very big combo piece in this variant that I'm playing right now. So we'll get into those later though. Next off, we run 3 copies of Lunalight Tiger. Now, Lunalight Tiger is a very important combo piece, and she's basically a monster reborn in the deck. She combos very well with Blue Cat. You can bring out Blue Cat, and then Blue Cat will be destroyed during the end phase, letting you bring out anything that you need. And when she is destroyed by battle or by card effect, so if she gets MST'd in the pendulum scale, she still gets this effect, you can basically monster reborn any other Lunalight card in your graveyard without any restrictions on it this time around. So she is also a very big combo piece in this variant because I'm going to be popping a lot of things like Blue Cat and Tiger. They're prime targets for popping to help you maintain card advantage. Next off, I only play 2 copies of Lunalight Wolf this time, just because I play some other pendulum cards, and she's not. She restricts us to summoning only Lunalight cards, but she is still good as a Miracle Fusion play sometimes, and she's also very good for banishing Lunalights to summon maybe Leo Dancer, Panther Dancer, anything that we might need at the time to swing for game. So yeah. There's that. That's it for the Lunalight monsters, but moving on, we are going to go into this little engine I have. I don't have this card yet, but it's in the mail. So I'm playing Perform Power Odd Eyes Light Phoenix. So it's a level 5 monster with a scale of 3, and I'm really only playing it because it's searchable with Sky Iris. And yeah, its effect isn't that relevant, but you can combo it with Odd Eyes, Pendulum Dragon. Next off, we are playing 2 copies of Perform Power Odd Eyes Unicorn. Now, Unicorn is an amazing card, scale 8, and of course I don't have the second copy right now, but it's just very, very powerful in terms of helping us pendulum summon cards like Wolf and like Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Speaking of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, we are playing 2 copies of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. He allows us to search for Tiger as well as Unicorn, but you're probably not searching that because it's searchable by Skyris. Normally you want to search Tiger with this, and then you can also pop Tiger with Skyris and things like that to get your combos going. And he's just a very good card, and he's a level 7, so allows you to go into rank 7 plays in your extra deck. And his effect to double damage when he attacks a monster is kind of relevant if your opponent happens to have any low attack monsters. So yeah, there's that. He basically acts like a mini, I guess, Panther Dancer kind of. You can instead of attacking something twice, you just deal double damage to it. So it's pretty good in that regard. That's it for the monsters. Next off, we're going to go into the spells. Alright, so with the spell cards, we are playing 3 copies of the mandatory Fire Formation Tenki, basically the Rota of the deck, allowing us to add 1 level 4 or lower Beast Warrior type monster from our deck to our hand. We definitely need that to be able to search out our combo pieces. Next off, we are playing 2 copies of Polymerization because it's a fusion-based deck, and you need to get to your Lunalight fusions as fast as possible. In conjunction with that, another fusion substitute, basically a polymerization, but only from the field. You can return 1 fusion monster from your graveyard back to the extra deck to draw a card, which is really nice. That's why I play it. It just helps you basically recycle some of your fusions without using Black Sheep's effect. Alright, so next off we were playing 2 copies of Fusion Recovery. Bumped this down because I saw it way too often in opening hands. Didn't really want it. This is really good for late game though, mid-late game where you just want to recover some resources and go for some more plays. It's a very nice +1 in that regard. Alright, next off we are playing 2 copies of Terraforming because we are also playing 2 copies of Sky Iris. Now if you don't know what Sky Iris does, it protects your Perform Power, Odd Eyes, Magician monsters in your Pendulum scale, yes, but it also allows you to pop cards, any face-up card that you control, and you get to add 1 Odd Eyes card from your deck to your hand. Now, the reason why this is good is because it works really well in conjunction with Lunalight Tiger and Lunalight Blue Cat, where they generate advantage for you while they're popped, and it allows you to add scales that you need to be able to go for a massive pendulum summon and go for massive amounts of damage, make a big field, anything like that. So Skyris is a very good combo piece, and it adds a lot of consistency to the deck, which is very, very powerful. Next off, we are playing 2 copies of Twin Twisters because this deck can afford the discard, and we don't like back row. If there's maybe 1 spell trap that's set, normally I'd clear it out with White Rabbit, just because it's easier that way. Return to the hand, don't have to worry about it until next turn. Alright, so next off we play 1 copy of Raigeki, just to clear some problem monsters, things that might be effect negation or stuff like that, Dark Ladies, anything of that sort. Okay, next off we were playing 1 copy of Upstart Goblin to round off these spell cards, just for that little consistency boost. The 1,000 life points to the opponent doesn't really matter at all, because you're dealing so much damage with this deck anyway. And lastly, for the traps, I only play 3 copies of Lunalight Reincarnation Dance. So if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, basically, you get to add 2 Lunalight monsters from your deck to your hand. And this is really good because if your opponent doesn't do anything to your monsters, you can pop, let's say, Blue Cat with Skyars, and then you can activate this and add 2 more things. So just really get your combos going. It really helps with the consistency. And that is it for the main deck. Next off, we are going to go into the side deck. So for our side deck, we are starting off with 2 copies of Effect Veiler. I just wanted to have some effect negation that I could side into if I'm playing against a deck that likes to go first, be able to stop them in their tracks, especially Monarchs, just stop their idea, maybe their Eidos if they have that. Stopping Erebus and Aether are also really good if they do manage to go off before you draw into this. Okay, next off we are playing 2 copies of Maxi. Just if you're going second against like combo decks that really like to go off. The only reason I don't main these hand traps is because they really interfere with our combos and we want to go off ourselves. Of course, draws and everything are nice as well, but like I said in my Melodious deck profile, Maxi isn't that good in this format, so if you're going up against Monarchs, it's kind of dead, and Veiler doesn't really contribute too much in your own combos, and because this deck has such an aggressive potential, I just felt that these cards are better off sided. We have 3 more monsters in the side deck. I play 3 copies of Kumungus, the Sticky String Kaiju. The only reason I really played this and prefer this, even if I had Gamma Seal, I don't have Gamma Seal, but the only reason I prefer this one is because it's a level 7. So if you do manage to give your opponent one, you have another one in your hand, you can summon it and make a rank 7 with it. Big Eye, Flare Metal, something like that. And yeah, so it's just a really good out to problem cards, maybe Cosmo Dark Ladies, Dark Destroyers, anything that you can't really get over, Ultimate Falcons, things like that. So it's really good in that regard. Next off, we are playing one copy of Solemn Warning, just because I don't play in the main deck, and it's just a really good card overall. If I decide to go first, I might side this card in. It's really good against pendulum decks and everything of that sort as well. Next off, we're playing two copies of Curse Seal, the Forbidden Spell. I went over this in my Melodious deck profile, but basically you discard one spell card to negate the activation of another spell card and then destroy it. And then your opponent can activate cards with the same name as that for the rest of the duel. So Stormforth, Pantheism, even Cosmo Towns, they'll hinder Cosmo's ability to recycle their cards. It's really, really strong, and if used correctly, you can absolutely shut down your opponent. And the good thing about this deck is that you can search out polymerizations so easily. You might have extra Tenkies and stuff that you don't really want, that you can't use that turn if you open two of them. Things like that, fusion recoveries, maybe they're dead, you can just discard that. This deck has so many spells in there that there's absolutely no reason not to side these cards. Okay, so next off, we are playing three copies of Rivalry of Warlords. This card should be very self-explanatory. It is the best floodgate of the format right now. Hurts Monarchs, hurts Cosmos, hurts Burning Abyss, hurts everything. Especially decks that rely on their extra deck a lot, this card just absolutely devastates them as well. The only deck that I think it doesn't hurt as much is maybe Draco Pals, because they have all their things that they can make into Ignister, Dynaster, and all that stuff. But, that deck's not really as common now compared to the others, so very, very good, strong side deck card. And for the last two cards I play two copies of Royal Decree, just, against Demise decks, or decks that generally play a lot more back row than I can really handle or want to deal with. I'll side this in and basically shut them down. It's like a Denko Sekka, but not monster form. We like our normal summons. Okay. So next off, we're going to go into the extra deck. Okay, so for the extra deck, we are playing one copy of Sky Cavalry Centauria. This card is an amazing rank 2 play. You just normally White Rabbit, Black Sheep. If you don't have a poly, you XYZ into this. And basically, this can't be destroyed battle if it has materials under it. And if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can detach one and return that monster to the hand. So very good non-targeting, non-destruction removal, and has actually helped me out several times when I'm in a pinch and I can't get over certain monsters. Okay, so next off we play one copy of Diamond Direwolf. This is really strong, especially if you can play in conjunction with maybe Lunalight Tiger or Blue Cat. Pop one of those instead of Diamond Direwolf itself and start plussing off of those cards. One copy of Castel, the Skyblaster Musketeer. Just spin a card. If you have this card, then you make Diamond Dire. Diamond Dire can actually pop this as well, because he's a winged beast. So very cool in that regard. Next off, for the rank 4s, we still going on. Playing Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. So when this card is XYZ summoned, you get to set basically a Tenki from your deck, and you get to search from that, obviously. And the cool thing about him, the reason I really like playing this card, is you can detach one, negate all other monsters on the field that are not Beast Warrior type monsters. So, if anything has immunity, Dark Destroyer and stuff like that, well, not anymore, you can target them now. So, very strong card indeed. Next off, we are playing one copy of Utopia, because we like to go into Utopia, the Lightning. I believe this is a staple in basically all rank 4 decks, just because cards like Dark Destroyer exist, but, it just helps you out more than just that. Dark Destroyers, you can out Beatrice, you can out Ultimate Falcons, you can swing over a small monster for game. It's very, very good. And its Armades effect just stops things like Mirror Forces and stuff, if you know your opponent's playing those kinds of things. Okay, so that's it for the rank 4s. Now going into the rank 7s, we play number 11, Big Eye. If you don't know what this does, is you detach one material, target one monster your opponent controls, and just take control of it permanently. Until they get rid of it, of course. But Big Eye is a very, very powerful card. A lot of people try to make big monsters to try to kill Leo Dancer and stuff. I've had people make Excaliburs on me, and my turn, make Big Eye, take the Excalibur, and attack him for game. This card swings game so hard. if your opponent is playing pendulum decks, he makes Ignister. You can make this next turn, take the Ignister, pop their stuff, shuffle their own stuff. You know, you get a free 2850 beater. It's very, very strong. Next off, we are playing one copy of Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon. Very powerful card, 2800 attack, and he can't be destroyed by card effects if he has materials. And your opponent has to pay 500 life points every time they activate something. So this card is very useful when you're attacking your opponent and then you leave them at very low life. You know, maybe 2,000 or under is a very good time to make him. You'd make him and your opponent is limited to like 3-4 cards to play, maybe even less at that point. So yeah, definitely restricting them, and this creates kind of like soft OTKs you can say, so you can attack with all your monsters and leave them with like 500 or under life points, and then you summon this, and to get rid of it they have to play at least one card. So yeah, they'll basically burn themselves to death by trying to do anything. So that is it for the XYZ monsters. Next off, we're going to go into the fusion monsters. So for our fusion monsters, we play 3 copies of Lunalight Cat Dancer. Lunalight Cat Dancer is the first form of fusion. You just need 2 Lunalight monsters to summon her. She's pretty powerful on her own, except I don't really like leaving her just on her own. If I can, I will try to make Lunalight Panther Dancer, which we play 2 of. Panther Dancer is basically I guess the true boss monster of the deck. I guess that's why they made her ultra rare and not Leo Dancer. But yeah, so both of these can attack your opponent's monsters twice each if you activate their effects respectively. Cat has a cost to tribute another Lunalight monster, but Panther doesn't, which is why I like Panther more. And yeah, so Panther Dancer is very strong for creating OTKs, especially if your opponent leaves a small monster on the field. If you can boost up Panther Dancer with Blue Cat or Purple Butterfly or something, you basically just won the game. And last but not least, we play 2 copies of Lunalight Leo Dancer. I still like playing 2. I've tested out 1 and it still works, but there have been times where I just kind of miss this card. You can, of course, put these fusions back with Black Sheep, but, you know, sometimes you don't have the option to do that. But Leo Dancer is a very powerful card. She can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and the only way to really kill her is by battle, but she's 3,500 attack. So, you know, summon her, and most decks have to use Lightning or a Kaiju to get over it, and not all decks have access to that. Cosmos don't have access to those. Burning Abyss, well, they have access to Kaijus, but they can't make Lightning. Decks right now are just very restricted in what they can do. Of course, Erebus and things can Stormforth. They can Stormforth, Erebus you. They can Cosmojo you, but, you know, we can play around that. And that is it for the extra deck. So that about does it for this deck profile. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this video or you found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe for more Lunalight content, and leave a comment down below letting me know what I can do to improve. And until next time, take care.